Greetings, blessings, salutations. Once again, brothers and sisters, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And it's Friday afternoon. I am feeling filled with peace, filled with, I don't know, a lot of ideas that I think are pretty fun. And I've already dropped the link to open the panel. It's pinned to the top of the chat for those who wish to join. And for those who are stopping by, hard hat, salty siren, familiar faces, ones I remember and recognize. God bless. Thank you for returning. And to any new discoverers who may be joining, welcome. Settle into life, right? That's my goal to kind of help share with this world is hopefully some ways that we can each settle into our own natural state of beingness, finding ways each of us can learn how to adapt ourselves so that we can feel grounded and safe in whatever circumstances we might bring ourselves to. And that's the challenge, right? Seems unbelievable or easy, just at the initial thoughts. But this world, man, this life experience is not always what it seems. That's one thing I have learned for absolute certain. Don't always trust. Don't always trust, your initial determinations. Because the way our minds work, man, they are magnificent. And truly, the power of the human mind, the egoic logic that can be presented as believable. Holy cows, man. You got to be careful. What I'm referring to is how manipulative some beings can be, whether they intend to or not. Think back in the stories of the snake oil salesman and how many schemes are rampant in this world, It's due to manipulation, little trickery. So the human mind is capable of that. Every one of us has the capacity of devious thinking, of, finding ways and loopholes, finding excuses. But that's part of the game, man. So the thought I was thinking earlier is in this life, we learn a lot of information through our experiences. What different things, different beings, different events might mean to us. So there's a lot of information. But what was the thought? Truth can be explained from many different perspectives. Okay? So that means facts. Facts can be explained from many different perspectives. It doesn't change what is true, but the different perspectives can bring different meanings. And hey, God bless. Paul, good to see you too. Good afternoon. Grateful to see you around again. I was wondering about you recently and if I had pressed myself too much into your personal affairs, but this is actually, our life brings a lot of a lot of experiences that only each of us know what was real about what we experienced. But what was real and what is real right now, it can vary greatly based upon the way you look at things. And so it's really easy in our lives to find reasons to blame, reasons to hold hate and judgment and carry these patterns within us. It's real easy to do. It's normal in this diseased and backwards world, man. I think it really is. It is time for, I believe, for humanity to wake up to what is humane, what is righteous. To know that, we've got to know what is true. And until you break your patterns of thought and really challenge what you think within yourself, how do you know so confidently that what you believe is true? You don't. See, our beliefs and our thoughts are actually fluid, dynamic. They're actually non-existent things. The thoughts don't matter. What matters is what is true, what is real. And what is real, brothers and sisters, is this experience we are living. Man, it's a trip. It's a trip through time. And it's just like every other one, except it's a different time and a different trip. Praise God. What if that's what we are? What if we're all just like hallucinations within the mind of a God? We're thought patterns that developed into form because of the magical aspects of our Creator. What if this is all just within the imagination of each other, which it actually is? Because, see, I live as me, and I've got within me my perception of who I am and how I present myself to be. But I know that everyone who has encountered me, they've seen a little and expanded their thoughts into this imagined character. And some of it may be true. Some of it may be, very obvious and apparent. You don't need all the information to know a lot of details. But every one of us is walking around today, and there's like hundreds, thousands of people walking around at the same time, and they got memories of you that are different than where you're at. Right? People carry around these memories from childhood. I don't remember where I heard it recently, but someone gave the example, ran into an ex's sister, poor relationship as teenagers, and run into them again 20, 30 years later, and don't talk to me. I remember what you did. This was not me, by the way. This was just a recent share someone offered. But the point is humans do have this tendency, the capacity to carry around grudges and resentments and guilt and shame and depression and fear and anxiety. But you know what, brothers and sisters, there's more comfortable ways to spend our time. There really is. And I'm not saying, don't take the wrong idea. Life's not just about comfort, but you can be comfortable doing you, being you, as you discover what the new you becomes. But we don't discover our new you without some self-awareness, paying attention to who we are and what we're doing. Hey, our first guest. Welcome, Cage. How you doing, brother?
How you doing, Jack?
I'm feeling good.
That's
Feeling
good.
real good.
It's good to hear.
Anything new with you or thoughts on where I've been going?
Uh, same old with me. I'm harvesting today. There's that. That's a positive.
Very cool.
Did you end up calling that number or no?
No, I looked it up online and I have not pursued it and I've not ruled it out yet either.
It's still up in the air. That's all right.
Well, this life, dude. This life is a trip. This is what I was talking about. Holy cows. Actually, there's the obvious right there. Sterling Ray. The fear of death keeps many enslaved to the system. That is exactly right. But these fears, it's not just the fear of death, it's the fear of suffering, right? The fear of living without the luxuries of society and comfort. Those are real conditions that would be faced if we go off on our own to break away and try and create something different, which I hear a lot of people saying this, that we need to build a system to replace the broken system to prove the effectiveness so that it's a choice. Well, there's a lot of people doing that, going towards building these other constitutional and community assemblies and such. And I encourage and support those. I encourage and support anyone listening to please explore that in your community. Find out what organizations and what movements might be growing, abilities to help educate, to help inform, to help share support with each other. I don't know. What I finally realized, hey, amen. I settled in my life. And please, I am admitting my sins, so to say, for others so that they might learn from my mistakes. But what I've learned from the lessons that I've learned, I settled in my life because I was afraid to live. I was afraid to be wrong. I was afraid to take chances. You know, if an opportunity come up, I would spend hours and hours and hours investigating, trying to get all the details. And if I couldn't feel like I knew enough, I'd miss it.
I hear you. Yeah. So, yeah, you can't be afraid to take chances in life, right? Chances make champions, really.
Amen. We've got to be willing to succeed. And in order to succeed, you got to be willing to fail. Because if you're not willing to fail, you'll talk yourself out of trying. And see, in my background, the way that I was raised, right or wrong, I mean, there's a lot of good things in the way I was raised, but if you were wrong, you got punished. And so you better figure out what is right. But at the same time, it was children should be seen and not heard. So you got to figure shit out on your own. So I know I'm not alone in some of those child memories, but brothers and sisters, we can carry around the anger and the bitterness and the abandonment issues all our life, keeping these walls and boundaries, keeping people away so we feel protected. You can do that. It's your life to live, man. But I'm encouraging you to let it go. Let go of the past. Focus on the future. Focus on a greater future. Learn from the pain. Learn from the suffering. Learn from the mistakes. And plan a future to overcome or repair or help others avoid that stuff. Because if we focus on a future together, brothers and sisters, the past will work itself out. We just got to believe that a future can be accomplished together. And whatever together means from your own life, your own perspective. But I know that in order to change the world, we're going to have to find ways to get along a little differently than people have been accustomed to. But the cool news is, brothers and sisters, is that we were awakened to consciousness again today in these bodies, these divinely created, naturally generated, so we assume, these technologies of life, man.
Yep. Just want to say what's up to Dominic in the chat.
Yes.
Is that Paul's dad too?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Unless it's an imposter. There's a lot of impersonators, imposters. But hey, God bless. The key to having peace is you got to learn how to believe in yourself. And it is hard to do sometimes, especially when we've had a lot of negative feedback from the world, or we've been lying.
Yes.
The best way. Go ahead, Cage.
I was going to say that's why I kind of recommended that link to you, because I really, if you get involved in stuff like that, it really boosts your confidence, self-esteem. It helps you deal with everything. Stronger body, stronger mind. Gives you an outlet. I think it would be very beneficial. Yeah.
Yes. Well, what I found, I know the path I took was through the mind. Okay. And it's through the mind that my body and my spirit transformed. And the way I found, back to that comment about believing in ourselves, yes, confidence, you get involved with some habits of strengthening self-discipline, self-defense, even physical strength. Those things all help with the confidence. Another one, the most clear and obvious path to believe in ourselves, is to humble ourselves to the truth and become committed to honesty. And that is the narrow path. That the path of truth is what allows the kingdom of heaven to be revealed from within and to be seen. Because I think our bodies or minds are designed that when we become dishonest and fearful, that we create a dissonance, right? A cognitive dissonance in what is real, and we become detached from reality.
I feel like, Jack, a lot of people don't want the truth. They want to be lied to or something. It's weird. Like they'll get angry at that, tell them the truth.
That has been the past human condition. You're absolutely right. But what I know and learned from myself is it doesn't fucking matter if I got angry. Doesn't matter if my heart was broken. I had to accept what was true. So I found ways within myself to start getting over that, getting over the bad feelings and finding ways to become grateful for whatever I can learn. This world, though, for it to change, people are going to have to wake up to the truth of their past mistakes, wake up to the truth of their capacity to forgive, their capacity to give. And brother, if the world worked towards just becoming a more honest and open and transparent world, we'd have no secrets holding together this bullshit system of oppression we call a government. It's like The the American government has failed to protect its citizens, and it has actually created enemies, enemies amongst us all. I mean, you see the conflicts between race, between sexual preference, between gender. All of this crap just keeps the rats and the rodents, humans, fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, divide and conquer, right?
Yes. It's fucking crazy, and it's been working. So,
It's been working pretty damn well, I'll tell you that.
all right. So this is where we're at. So now how do we herd the cats back together, right? The sheep, get them back into, feeling safe, but they don't, no one's a fucking sheep either, man. This I'm sorry, I shouldn't get into these animal comparisons because humans are beasts.
Well, that's like the only way to control billions of people, right? You categorize them into smaller and smaller groups, for example, like a flat earther or a truther or whatever, and then you make them fight amongst each other, self-regulate each other, and then they get absolutely nowhere, and you're still being held in control. Right? It's the only way to deal with it.
Cage, this is exactly what has happened, though, and the truth is obvious. Divided, we fall. We've got people that are still emotionally and mentally divided, conflicted within themselves. They haven't resolved the truth within them. And so people are carrying these darkness and these conflicts with them and obediently sharing the sharing the brainwashing by fitting in.
And
And
you
it's
know
not
what, Jack?
intentional. Oh, go ahead.
Another aspect of it is, everyone's anonymous behind a screen, right? So they don't really show the respect they would if you were sitting beside them, like, or, across them in a table. So, like, if you treat people like you treat them normally in person, stop acting like you're online, and you can be crazy in that. Like, I think we'd have to see a lot more of an improvement if people did that. Because people go off and stuff, like, because they're behind a screen. They would never act like that in real life. It's like it's crazy.
Hey, I've found myself falling into that as well. Earlier,
We all have.
earlier this year, I was still getting triggered, and quite often. I'm getting better, but you're right. It's falling into the illusion of an experience that's simply electronic. It's all energetic, and it is reality. People talk about its characters on here, but these are human characters. Most of them being as they are. That's just how I am. I mean, as I present myself here is how I am in person. Except, I think.
I don't see it in you. I see, like, you probably act normally, like how you normally act. But some people just go off, like calling people's names, like saying things about other people's family, like all types of crazy shit. Like, that would never happen if we're all in a room together. Come on.
Well, yes and no. Okay, because the reality is, in this society, that's exactly what's happening from the political stage, on the news, on the media. So of course, people do this in their own lives, and it is brainwashing. It's offering it's offering poor examples. Now here, while we've had our development, I think we've had, particularly in the recent past, some really great open and honest dialogues about health and improvement. I don't know if you were, I don't remember where you were at with this, Cage, but yesterday we had some cool ones.
I wasn't. I took the day off yesterday from online.
Hey, good for you. Well, you mentioned it's harvest time, so is
Yep.
that is that an all day or several days, or what is
Oh
that?
no, it's a one day. Just cut them down and then hang them up. Doesn't take that long.
All
Cleaning
right.
up and stuff. Like a night, one night worth work.
Gotcha.
But even growing gives you a lot of discipline too, because uh, it's a constant cycle. So you constantly have to put your energy and effort into something. And for example, this one's been flowering for 75 days, I think, since May 29th all the way until now. That's just flowering. You got to veg them before and all that. So it's something you have to put like months of effort in every single day to get a result out of it. So I think it does teach you a level of discipline, which I think is very valuable.
I love that. And the lesson is learned through nature.
Yep.
That's where the wisdom is truly found.
Yep.
Hey, and this quote is true, on point, and I've learned this, man. The world is a stage, all the men and women merely players. We all have our exits, our entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages. I don't know about the 7 ages, but I know I have played many different characters in this lifetime and still been the same guy. And it's been just simply a growth and development and maturity. Overcoming your developing self-control, increasing the amount of knowledge I know. Oh, Cage, I know you can respect this, but this is what I was thinking about. The most important realm that we can focus our awareness on is the heavenly realm of knowledge that's within us. Always exploring that knowledge to learn more of or push beyond.
Yeah, it's all within you, right? You have to be introspective, and you can find out a lot just by. Like what I do sometimes, Jack, I go in the forest by myself and I just sit there for the day, and it's complete silence. It's just examine nature, and you learn a lot doing that. Get away from all this fucking nonsense, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. My own path, I've tried doing that more. Um, my mind always goes back to what else can I be doing? And with unresolved goals and, a lot of still, I claim a lot of faith, but there are a lot of uncertainties, a lot of things I got to tend attention to try and figure out what do I do. But going to nature, absolutely, and studying nature, considering nature, right? Really reflecting on the nature, the animals, the plants, whatever is revealed to you, reflecting on nature, realizing your connection, the wisdom that is expressed through nature, through the animals and the patterns of life. Dude, the the primitive ancestors knew this stuff. The indigenous folks, and you know fuck, oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting more and more disconnected from nature. Like now they're trying to make the 15-minute cities and everything and all that, so it's even getting worse.
Well, Cage, and I see, where was it? I think it was I saw in the news in Brazil. There's the friggin' indigenous tribe leaders are coming out to try and use the fucking systems to speak up on behalf of the jungles. And it's like, what? These are legitimately, I don't know who owns it, but it's from the Western world, so you may as well be America. These damn corporations are out of control.
I know.
It's absolute insanity, and there are human beings whose lives and lands are being destroyed by employees. This is
I
a
know.
sickness, man. That, you know what? Praise God. Praise God. Because if this is real, I do, and we will be part of history is going to be history will be different when the truth is known more commonly.
But this whole thing, like the truth being revealed, and that, that doesn't Armageddon translate to that? Isn't that the Armageddon when everyone wakes up? Then it's the fucking Armageddon or the
That's actually what I
apocalypse.
understand, brother. That is what I understand, is that many of these words written by brilliant men, brilliant people, um, yeah, I think many of the things have been misinterpreted intentionally or just by the evolution of design. Um, but yeah, as I understand the Armageddon and the Revelation, that is, or the end times is to bring the beginning. And you can look at the signs that are described, and the patterns have been. Your thoughts, Cage? Because yeah, I didn't mean to
What?
take it. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, right. I thought that's like the translation of it.
Well, each of us, if you look, study nature, right? Nature generically in the concept has an evolution of life, right? It is duplicated and replicated, yet every single is different and unique. And that happens with people too. But we have the consciousness other animals don't. We got the biology that's real similar, but we are unique from the other animal and plant kingdom, obviously, because of the consciousness we possess. Like the gods would know the difference between good and evil. We're made in the image of the creator, so to say, the gods. And the truest image is within the mind. See, the all knowing gods know all. We know the all that we know, nothing more, and sometimes less, because sometimes we forget. Humans have overcomplicated the human life. I'm confident in saying that. But, brothers and sisters, seriously, if we want to trust ourselves, we got to become completely honest with ourselves and with each other. And as long as you're honest with yourself and each other, you should have no regrets, right? And especially if you act with good intentions, right? I saw HMFIC of Steve. Um, he's known to say, do good, be good, or be good, do good. And welcome, Flo, and all of you guys who are popping in. Thank you for joining. All are welcome to join. Um, when you stop and think about your life and what you've learned and what you've lived, and then think about what is it that breathes you. What is it that awakens your mind, brings you back into the awareness of being each morning? What is that?
Looking in my own eyes in the mirror and realizing what I have to get done. You know what I mean? That's what gets me back into it. You know?
Look at
So
my own eyes in the mirror and realize what I still need to get done.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that. And brothers and sisters, please, we can all learn from each other. And you're not you're not obligated to what came to my mind is this pattern of humanity. They always want to give the credit to where they learned from. And I understand honoring the respect of where knowledge may be received, but where I was getting at is we can all learn from each other. And these little simple ideas, simple practices of self-talk, the encouragement, or, the discipline. Look yourself at the eye. Ask yourself, what do you still got to get done?
Yeah, I'll slap myself across the head. Be like, Cage, don't be a fucking pussy. Get to work right now. You have to get your shit done. It doesn't have to be always positive, but it is. It's a negative talk, but it's positive at the same time because it inspires you, right, to get something done. So it's
yeah. Amen. There's a time and a place for both. But Cage, I'd encourage you. I found benefit for myself when I started strengthening my compassion. Still being firm, I really do. I like to say I challenge myself on my excuses, but till someone else comes in, I don't know.
Yeah.
The compassion of oneself, softening yourself, not your standards, but the way you encourage. That's what I'm offering, Cage.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I do. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'll take that into consideration. I'll probably start doing that too. But yeah, like also like not working for anybody. Like I've been self-employed for a very long time since I was like 17, 18. And that right there gives you a new level of discipline too, because you're not gonna get fired. You don't have someone like gonna yell at you. You're not like forced to do anything, but you have to do it anyway. So you have to be your own discipliner and like, okay, you're getting up at this time. You're taking care of all this. You're finishing at this hour, and then all that without being forced to do it. Right? You have to like do it yourself.
Yeah. Cage, as you were talking, I was kind of reflecting on myself because I remember I had buddies. One of my best friends became a CPA, right? So he's always reviewing businesses and he does business evaluations and such. Anyway, he was always encouraging me to leave my government job and go start a business, go stop holding myself back. If I was honest, I think my fear of that, it wasn't a fear of security, it was a fear of self-discipline. I would bet that's what it was.
Because it is hard to deal with, right? Because if you have no one like breathing down your neck telling you what to do, then you have to be your own boss. You have to be
right.
The one you have to fire yourself. You have to be careful with it.
Well, and this is what I learned about myself. I was raised a lot of rules you got to obey. Well, the obedient don't necessarily grow comfort in leadership. That's how the brainwashing of our children has been done unintentionally. Teaching children the fear of God, the fear of authority, teaching children that poverty has to exist, which, hey, it doesn't. And then teaching children to be obedient.
And that special sentence to tell everybody things are just the way they are, which is complete bullshit. Things are just the way they are. Number one bullshit fucking line that people are always fed growing up. No, they're like that because you allow them to be.
Exactly. That's what I realized too, is that here the brainwashing, the damage isn't done with teaching obedience. It's done with teaching obedience without sharing the understanding. We all need to learn how to obey the truth in every circumstance. Well, let me not say that because the truth isn't always clear. But you were saying something, Cage, and I'm sorry, I took us off from where you were at.
No. That was all. I was just saying, like that line they always say that things are the way they are.
Oh,
Yep.
Yes, the making excuses. Dude, right? I saw through the corruption of the militaries and the governments and all of this as a kid. I saw through it. And then as a kid, I was convinced I couldn't do anything about it. It's just the way it is. Well, you got to accept it. You either work or starve. Fuck, oh dear.
Another fucking funny one is when people say I have to work for a living.
Right.
What do you mean work for a living? So you're living. Think about that? How fucked up that sentence is.
Brother, thank you. The truth is in our words. It's right in front of our eyes. You don't have to work for a living. If that's the mindset you become, you live to work. That's
So now you're just like now you're a slave robot. That's it's crazy. Here's that Paul. What's up, Paul?
proper inflation means performance. Welcome, brother.
How are you, Jack?
Dude, feeling blessed, especially now.
Hey, are we allowed to masturbate on this panel as long as we're not being seen?
Please feel free. Just keep the camera
Thank you,
on.
brother. That's why I come here. I always feel welcome.
No one wants to see that, fucking Paul. No one wants to see that shit, man. Keep the camera off, buddy.
You'd be surprised. I'm starting an OnlyFans soon. It's going to be quite profitable. I'm going to be the next bad baby.
No.
Oh my God! Don't do that to the world, Paul. Don't do that to the people.
There's so many different media things growing too now. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Just, I don't know. Hey, am I the only one who thinks there's hope for the world, hope for humanity?
Oh, yeah, I let go of that long ago.
I still think there is. I still think not for everybody, but for some people there is for sure. Yep.
I honestly think we're supposed to not save everybody, but yeah, save everybody from themselves.
Oh, you're Captain Save-A-Ho, Jack. See? You're going to trick yourself out of position.
The best way to save someone is to educate them.
The best way to save someone is save yourself first. If you can't save yourself, how could you offer them saving?
I feel saved.
I don't feel safe for you.
Oh no.
I can understand that, and I appreciate that.
Where are you going to live in the next 4 months when that fucking slave term is up? I swear to God, Jack, if you show up here like Felix Hunger to my apartment, yes, I'm going to have to take you in, but it's going to piss me off. You spraying the air freshener everywhere, having to have it ultra clean.
Go live with Paul and shit. You guys can make like a reality TV show together.
Life
of Jack and Paul.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to do it. When he loses this damn house, I'm going to buy it up, and then we're going to live there. But part of his terms is he has to live with me and others. So I get to do whatever I want. So he'll be forced to contribute.
Dude, you should come here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I started finishing the basement, like this friggin' sweet master bedroom and nice bath. I don't know. Hey, you asked the question. I still hold faith in my path that I got nothing to point to. Well, no, I got a lot to point to that makes me believe this, but I believe wealth and abundance. It's just like right there for me. It's just like right there. So I know it's coming, Paul.
Right. Flow State made another statement he's not going to stand on. He said he would talk to me, but on Jack's panel. He's too scared to do it on mine. He's down there yapping again. And he can't seem to figure out the reality that we exist in. Like, oh, he's not for the doom and gloom thing. Like, so you're just not going to be real with yourself in any fashion of your life? Like so we're not in slavery and genocide, huh? It's not ubiquitous. Policy, statute, and code not running everyone's life on some level. Centralized banks don't own everything through state-owned corporations.
To some degree, yes. But I was trying to figure out how to express something I was thinking earlier. About we go through each day and we learn a lot of information, right? About what's going on in the world way out there and what's going on in our little world of where we are. And it's good to pay attention, but it's hard to know what exactly to pay attention to, because you only want to pay attention to the things that actually involve your life. But just what you're saying, Paul, a lot of these codes and enforcement and all this shit, everyone going along with it does affect our lives.
The world's problems are created by you not solving your own problems. See how the as within, so without, as above, so below holographic universe works? So if you can solve all these problems on your own scale with yourself and in your community, or at least bring some kind of an understanding to that, then it changes the atmosphere of what we call the world, because that's how it works. It's one at a time.
Paul's 100% correct about that. Everything you see around you, all these things happening, they're an outward projection of your subconscious mind being formulated into this reality, technically. Just to add on to what Paul was saying.
That's exactly what I've learned as well. And I've been trying to figure out where my block is. What am I subconsciously, what is the energy that I'm putting out that's keeping people keeping them distant from me? Because you're absolutely right, Paul. In order to do anything, you've got to have the peace around you. Prove its effectiveness. I just got my own word to go on, man. And I don't know why.
Right. So flow state is confused again. This is not bad faith. I'm not misrepresenting you. I don't represent you. You represent you. The fact that you do a horrible job at representing you gives me an ability to comment on who and what you are is not a misrepresentation. That's my perspective. So you don't understand court, you don't understand law, you don't understand courting or conversation. I can tell that by you and your goopy bitch there. You can tell so much by so little once you have discernment, right? I know you don't understand courting because I see the relationship you have with women. So I know you don't understand how to conduct yourself at court. It's another art of living that folks have not studied and not really embodied in any way. There's a lot of different arts of living, skills and strategies. They won't employ them. They'd rather argue and fight about how their way is right. The results suck.
Well, Paul, you've been resistant based on this observation and standard of results. And I'm not talking so much about flow, but with me, I don't know where you guys are at. And here, Paul, with a level of discernment, though, okay, with a level of discernment, maybe observing things that aren't maybe
Please don't
obvious.
start arguing with me and you. I just want to entertain myself by playing with flow state. Could you just invite him up? Now Flo, he's saying,
please join.
Yeah, I want him to humiliate himself like always so that I can get entertainment. While he pretends to know things. He says he knows more about women in court than me. I'd love to have a conversation about any of these things with him. Right? Unless you want to, Jack. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to divert you. I'm really interested in hearing from flow state.
He's always welcome. I mean, I enjoy flow state, and I don't see him. I don't know. I don't see what you're describing. To be honest,
you don't see what I see because it hasn't come out completely yet, but it's there, like it always is with everyone. And he's detestable energetically, and I know why.
No.
He lacks faith. He's an infidel, like they always are. And I've gotten it up out of him, but he's a tough case, right? He's got a strong will and ego on him. And he's good at political presentment. He's good at playing polite games, right? Like, oh, I was polite here. I backed off here. I talked shit over here where you didn't see it and hear it. He's one of those, right? He thinks he's clever in his deception. So I like to call them out directly. I like to be considered a bully with folks like that. And then I like to show them for who and what they are, but they're scared to get in my presence because they know they'll reveal themselves.
There's some truth there, but then there's other. I've seen a lot of good qualities, and I don't see as much cowardice or lack of faith. I don't see that as much. Hey, on the chat here, I did take an online course on. I've explored some of the things regarding shamanism. Really, kind of, there's a lot of paths in spirituality. The way beats, music, tempos, the drums, the way they can bring our mind, the harmonics and thoughts into like different levels. and dude, these bodies, these minds, they're fucking trips, man. They are cool. I spend a lot of time home and alone. So I go within. And
Talcott Cliff's like, I don't want Jack guiding me through an ayahuasca trip. Imagine Jack being your trip guide. Imagine doing mushrooms with Jack. That would be the funniest shit ever.
Dude, I want
Jack
someone to. I think that would be fun myself. Because I have fun when I'm by myself. And brothers and sisters, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take life seriously, but life includes fun too, not just work. We can have fun sharing the freedom we've been learning with each other, helping support each other to become more free, more confident in their interactions with each other, whether it's someone wearing a costume or someone pretending to be a supervisor or a boss. We can all learn how to get along better when we gain our self-confidence and trust. I think the only way to do that is to do what is obvious, guys. We got to humble ourselves to the truth. And the truth is, fuck, there's a lot of truths. What is real is now. Beyond now is unimportant. What we do now is critical for the future. And it's always now. So what we do is critical for the future.
Well, yeah,
starts
it's
in
like
the mind.
exactly. It goes back to that old quote, right? You must watch your thoughts because they become your speech. You must watch your speech because they become your actions. You must watch your actions because they become your destiny or whatever. So it all starts from the way your mind's set up, the way you're thinking, the subconscious mind, how it's programmed. Right? It's reprogrammed that institutionalized subconscious brainwashing that they've been putting onto us since the formative years of our life. Like from when you're born all the way up to around 7 years old, that's when the fucking operating system's put onto the computer. So it's difficult to override that.
You notice that everyone on I just came from London Man's non-broadcast where they were once again fixating on all of these symbols, problems, masters doing it to them. Never once again, did we talk about solutions, way out, how to be better, what to do with our time, energy, and attention. And this is the problem. Like, we're way too late in the game for this to keep talking about the obvious. Right? Yeah. And the even more obvious, which is the common sense of what we should be doing about it, right? Let alone doing it. Just talking about it can't even happen. Because immediately then Paulie Boy becomes the enemy in every community. What? You want to talk about actual accountability, responsibility, and solutions? Man, that sounds scary. You must be the enemy.
That's how I've been treated.
It's a defense mechanism that people have set up from themselves. No, it's because they don't want to break their paradigm. They don't want to break their reality by thinking something. But one solution, which I think really, really works, it worked for me at least, is you wake up and every fucking thought in your head, you filter it. You realize, why is this thought coming to my head? Is it mine? Is it even my thought? Why is it there? Is it useful? And if not, you do mental transmutation. You transmute it and replace it with something else. You cannot fight against like negativity. Instead, you transmute it. You can't fight head on against it. That leads nowhere. So it's like about the transmutation. It's like everything's the degrees of the same thing. So you just change the degree and then, so it's like filtering the subconscious mind and then reprogramming it. And then you'll see everything change around you.
Yes. It's got to take the intention, though, to actually go within and be willing to break the patterns. But I was reminded, I spoke about this recently, that line in the scripture, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers in high places. The principalities and the ruler within ourself is the thought patterns and the structures of beliefs. The rigidity of our perspective, that can hold us back or it can create us. But I think that is
so
the
if you're
enemy.
run by principalities, then based on the principles you hold will create your destiny. So what principalities are you serving with the principles that you hold? Or don't?
Thank you. And actually, I think that's probably what the scripture's talking about, is either people have misaligned principles, or they have a lack of principles and a lack of structure in their high places. But in the end, it's each person. We can help each person with their darkness and principalities in their own high places, because we've all got our blind spots. Welcome, Smith.
Hey, thanks for having me. No, I agree with what you're saying about the no solutions. I've tried mentioning before that the solutions need to come at a local level. People need to, be banding together at a local level. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like you'd said earlier, Paul, that, if you got a large group of people and none of them stand for anything, then you got nothing. But to just be one person trying to take on the entire beast system will never work either. People need
But again, why do we have to go immediately to this grandiose characterization of one man taking on the entire beast system? I'm just a man doing what I know is true and what's right.
I wasn't talking about you. No, I wasn't talking about you, but I was referencing.
No, I'm saying in general, why does that have to be the characterization?
Because I was referencing.
Take on anything in order to stand on what was true and what's right. They're deciding to take me on. I'm not taking them on.
No, I'm just referencing what you were saying and agreeing with what you were saying, that, you could have, 50,000 people in DC, but if they're all a bunch of pusses, then it's not going to do you any good. They're all going to scatter.
50,000 people would have, instead of trucking and sucking, right, all those Canadians up there, if they'd have taken their fucking license and corrected it and took the damn plates off and had the damn property not registered but recorded as private, and they'd have rode up and down that damn highway with the freedom to travel, you might have a different conversation. But they told us about rights and freedoms while riding around in state-sponsored vehicles under commercial capacity. Regulated.
I loved what they did is they put a shutdown to everything, and it was like, hey, look at us. What they should have been done was something other when their bank accounts got shut.
They shut down Parliament. They were there for like over 3 months in the freezing cold, negative 40-degree weather, like beasts, like savages. And they faced the consequence. They got their license taken away. They got their CVORs taken away. They got their bank accounts frozen, everything, their money all taken away because they stood up for something. And guess what happened after that? COVID doesn't exist anymore. All the shit got taken away, all the lockdown restrictions, all that. So it did work to some extent.
If 50,000 people tomorrow said we're out, and it changes.
Well,
and it only happens one at a time, unless you can get the Telegram group together.
Paul, this people saying they're out, yet still worshiping this fucking dollar, protecting the dollar. Nobody's out.
Well, and we're all doing that? Who's worshiping the dollar exactly?
Hey, Paul, let me come back. I laughed when Smith brought up what you said. Okay, I want to address that. Because what you first brought out is, one man can't do anything. Great. No worries. It's got to come from community. Great. All right. Hey, Smith, don't we live in the same fucking town?
Okay.
Haven't I been saying let's get together since, I don't know, a long time?
How did this turn to me? No, I thought you were laughing because he was saying if they took their plates off, which I'm not against that. But yeah, I do agree with Cage. I agree with Cage that, that it did help to end that, but they already have the system set in place for the next pandemic of 2025. So let's talk about solutions. It's on Johns Hopkins University's website. They have another pandemic plan called the Sears pandemic in 2025. Right. It will happen.
So don't you think we should do something?
I do.
Okay.
Right. Like, that's right on time for me. That's great that you just let me know that. I didn't need to know that, but yeah, that's about right. Over the next 2 years, I'll probably be ready to go, and we'll be where we need to be, and we'll have the best chance of survival and thriving. The rest of the slaves, good luck.
It sounds kind of selfish, and I'd rather focus
No, it
on
sounds kind of selfless. I'm standing for what's true and what's right and taking on what needs to be taken. You're sitting here talking while I prepare.
No, Paul.
You're selfish. You're sitting here talking while I and others are preparing behind the scenes. You're doing nothing.
No.
Who's selfish? Who's selfless?
No, Paul. You're
going to be at my house looking for guns and ammo and body armor and food.
Paul, if you can't chill your arguments against me and your insults, saying
you're going to be at my house looking for guns and ammo and food.
Well, so what? You
and
present
yourself
as a criminal. You honestly present yourself. You flaunt yourself as, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about you. You can come and suck my dick in public. I'm
absolutely,
Paul.
Absolutely. And Smith has presented himself as nice and kind and
You're an egoic gorilla.
I don't have anything bad to say about it. I actually wanted to hear. He was just starting to say something about. I just wanted to hear what he had to say.
I'm done. I'm done hearing what he's got to say today. Because I know when he comes up, it's going to be insulting and
that's fine. I just
failure mode and victim mode. The world's
I'm not drinking now, so it doesn't affect me the same way.
Jack.
If you don't go to jail like me, you're worth less than me, and blah 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 blah.
Jack, Paul, you should let Paul back on. He was actually he wasn't being offensive or anything today. He's really calm and nice and that. He's having a conversation.
No, what were you saying?
Are you okay, Jack? Are you getting triggered again and insecure?
No, I'm getting bored with your bullshit.
I just want to hear you finish. You were very excited. You were very animated and excited.
You loop constantly on this bullshit, and you don't allow yourself to even consider what you're missing, what you're ignoring. And I've pointed out, Paul, you're wrong. You need to relook at what you're thinking. You better relook at what you're saying, but you don't give a shit. So
why
yes,
are you
Paul,
angry then? If I'm wrong,
you in this way.
Why are you angry? Why are you angry?
I'm not.
You just made a false characterization, a false narrative. I never said anything about people having to go to jail or them being less than me. You made that up in your insecurity, and I wasn't fighting and arguing with you.
Your disagreement and false narratives, they work on others. I'm done with your gaslighting, Paul. I love you. I entertain you as a brother, welcome you as a brother, but you've been overlooking the value of what is possible because you think you're all that. Just like Donald Trump, just like Andrew Tate, just like all these other people who have a level of success. But you know what, Smith? I am a man in Spokane who realizes I can accomplish no things of true worth on my own. And, much of my story, I do have the goal, the inspirations within me to pursue these conversations, confronting the corruption in the American government. I think they can help open the doors to the UN, the other representative nations. Brothers and sisters, we're here to change this world. So everyone can say small and talk about what they've done and what they think they're doing. Life is happening right now. Okay? It's being revealed to us all.
Thank you, Jack. I had a signal to you that you had to put me up. I was 2 signals at once. It was put me up and you're a loser. You see? You know how Donnie says you're a loser, right? He wasn't wrong. See? That's why we can't get progress, because even if you elect somebody who you all think is a winner, I don't. You probably voted for him, maybe. I don't know. But he's going to tell you the game, right? You're a loser failure. Because even if I stood for rights, freedom, and principles and spiritual faith, you won't. So why would I?
I do.
That's his attitude.
Yes. But
Right.
see, we don't have to accept that. Okay. We can hold them, those who are in position, we can hold them to higher fucking standards. Like
Why
men
won't
and
you
women.
admit that you want money?
I have admitted I want money, but money is simply a tool. When I know that money will be evidence that people have received value from me, and I've received
So
contributions.
that's a result,
and-
right? So you care about a result. When the money comes,
No.
it'll be evidence that you've put out value.
Well-
So the fact that it doesn't shows probably you
Okay.
don't.
Well,
So do we want to
yes,
look at the
Paul.
result? And
Paul, yes, I am constantly looking for results because results are facts.
you want to hear
Fact.
what kind of results I got today?
Do whatever you feel.
No, I
Sure.
can't do that. I can't do that. It would upset some people. It would trigger. It would cause a whole bunch of other conversations about,
If you want to brag, brag.
No, it's not bragging. I'm trying to give you all a way out. What's been shown to me.
Well, here, Paul.
The mystery, right? The miracle.
Well, bring it back to your question of me not admitting I want money. Paul, it requires the world around me requires money to keep my computer on and my lights on and all
So you
this
don't
shit.
hate it and you don't think it should be gone.
That's a mischaracterization about what I've been saying repeatedly, but right now it is a tool and there is a
So
it
you
is
don't hate it and don't think it should be gone. You can't
No.
have cognitive dissonance. You can't
Well,
say
in
you
the
hate something and
future-
should be gone that you also need.
well, today is a need,
Kind of like
but
a wife and
tomorrow,
child. You can't hold two opposing views.
Paul, let's look at the difference, okay? Anything I receive is an investment in my purpose. My purpose is not for me to be rewarded. My purpose is for the world to be transformed.
Okay,
So-
so if folks gave you $1 billion right now, what would that look like other than you upkeeping your life and lifestyle? What would the spending go to end wars and legal secrets?
It would open the doors towards ending wars and legal secrets, the
How?
doors of communication.
How?
People sell their time for money. They sell their attention
No,
for
I
money.
asked you. You said if people gave you support and contributions, like I have examples of things that I might use to further the idea of rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, and community on the land with the people I work with. So,
Mhm.
like, there could be various things that's put forth. Other than that house and your wardrobe and your hair products and whatever else you do, what are those funds that people are not contributing to you because they don't get value from you? If they did, what would they go toward? Which is your purpose, you claim.
Well, my purpose, well, right now, because the world is as it is, people require each other to have money in order to share their talents and their time and attention, like for jobs. So everyone's so focused on jobs that if I had money, I might be able to hire people and gain some support towards developing the things that I
So
don't
you
really
want to pay other
understand
people to
as
do
well.
your work and journey for you. How surprising. More or
If I had
less.
$1 billion, I'd overthrow an influential
See,
country's
Paul,
government like Ukraine. You give me
you
$1
have-
billion, I'll overthrow
Right, he wants
Ukraine's
to be
government.
Hunter Biden. That's what he wants to do. He wants to be
Paul, hey,
Hunter
check-
Biden. He should go run for politics.
Paul,
He'd
check
be a
the
pretty good
private chat.
bullshitter there for the slaves.
Check the private chat, Paul, quick. I'm just curious about.
This is nonsense, Paul.
Oh, I'm not telling you, Cage. I'm not telling you. He said,
I'm
I'm proud of you. How much did you make today? I didn't make anything. Folks contribute and support like we do
I'm
everything.
just wondering, out of curiosity.
No, I can't get into it, man. It would come off as me being egoic and gloating. And I also live every day
No, it
as if it
isn't.
could go away at any moment.
I do.
So
I
I don't want to speak as if it's forever, right? It could go away tomorrow. So I should
I'm
remain
just-
humble with humility before the creator, right? I don't need to get
do
into
very well for myself too, Paul. So I'm not going to be jealous.
No, I got that. It's not even about the numbers. Like Jack just said, it's about the return of value. When you finally feel a value in yourself and in a community, it changes the perspective. And that's what Jack is wanting. You can see it. He's wanting for that.
Well, you shouldn't have brought it up then, to be honest, in the first place. You're not going to say it.
I don't know what he's saying.
I said you shouldn't have brought it up in the first place then. Now you just got me curious. It's fine, though. It's fine.
Here, money is a means to an end. It's a tool, right? I know the value of what money can do, but I also know money is not it's not an excuse for not accomplishing what we want. So right now I am one man alone trying to do what I want to accomplish, which is find a way to end wars and oppression and genocide. But doesn't mean I failed, and it doesn't mean I will fail. The probability, honestly, I understand how it sounds and what the likelihood is based upon the past history. Likelihood is fucking slim to none, but I think it's worth a try.
See, like Flow State, he's very foolish and stupid. He thinks because I don't show receipts, it's because I ain't got it. I don't show receipts because I don't want the problems, dummy. You don't live in a realm where I could just say or do anything without some kind of consequence in conversation. Why would I invite that in? I already got him on me and after him. Why would I invite more conversations interjurisdictionally to have to see? This is why you're dumb. You would come on here and you'd run your mouth to try to prove to a miscreant who and what you are when I've already proven it on the ground. The numbers are just the effect of a cause. You think I'm going to go to that, start a whole other conversation that could have me hemmed up? No, I don't need to. You choose to not believe what I'm saying, that's fine. I tell you daily, I do better now than I did working 40-hour week. So you figure out what that means to you, right? Like you guys are constantly trying to get me to out myself and dry snitch and get me hemmed up with people who you know are going to misinterpret the facts.
You're not doing anything illegal. Like what you're doing, how are you snitching?
It doesn't matter. The point is they'll try to make a statement that Paul Unslaved is an entity and whatever I declare on record is considered income and revenue. I'm not doing it.
Oh, they could fuck right off. Everyone deserves to live comfortably, in my opinion. And I'm proud of you, Paul, that you're doing better than you're doing it. That's great, man. Keep it up. You know what I mean?
I can't do anything other than be me. The people will support or they won't. That's faith.
Yeah.
Flo doesn't have faith, so he can't even have faith in me and what I'm saying. He thinks I'd sit up here and gamble my reputation talking about something. I do better than you. That's all you need to know. I could bet anything that I do way better than you right now at your job working. So if that makes you feel anything, you don't want to believe it, whatever. I'm just talking to trigger your ego. It doesn't mean it. All it means to me is there's a blessing and miracle working. And I was already aware of that way before this happened. It's just more proof of concept. So I have faith that whatever's meant will continue. You don't live like that, and you think I'd come up here and bullshit over numbers, which are an effect of a cause. I'd never do that. I don't even, like I said, I don't get into numbers, and he says, well, till you get into the numbers, there's nothing proven. That's not true. Like the man said below you, he can see what's in a person's heart. You can see what's in their heart and how they live.
Only reason why I brought it up is because you did. I'm not a fucking pocket watching fucking bitch either way. I do. I don't mention what I do. You'll be fucking surprised. But I take care of my family. I take care of my shit. You know what I mean? So
hey, you're not understanding, bro. You're not understanding. I walked away from 2,000-3,000 a month in my pocket, free and clear at that point was a good living.
That won't even cover my fucking goddamn bills, bro. Never mind the other bills I pay for my family.
I'm just saying my bills were so low that at that point, if I could put 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 away a month, I was way ahead of the game, and I gave that up. So you think that I'd be sitting here talking the way that I am if I gave that up, went to a hole for a year, really got my shit together in a different space, and came back to the world dedicated and applying myself? You think I'd be sitting here talking that way if it wasn't,
Hey, bro, like I said, I'm
equivalent value or more? It's not even about the fiat. It's about what it means to me, man. I don't have to slave.
And I'm proud of you.
I could show up hungry every day with what I love. That's the point. It ain't about even the numbers at the end of the day.
How's my audio? Am I clear?
You good?
Sounds,
All right,
sounds
cool.
good and clear. Welcome, Provo. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, how you doing, Jack?
I'm welcoming the interruption. No offense, Paul, but turning this show into your argument with Flo and, you know, this and that about your means and your success kind of bores me, dude. And I told you before that I was getting bored with you. Welcome, Provo.
I feel your frustration, Jack. Paul does have a lot to offer, even though, you know, he does bring a little bit of dysfunction. He has his famous artwork piece behind him, Follow Your Dreams, Jack. So what are your thoughts on following your dreams?
Here.
Wow.
Oh, no way.
It's the
I
universe,
told you
man.
we've merged, man.
I know.
Merge caught optics are high.
Holy shit.
That's just a synchronicity. That ain't my sign, and this ain't my room. But synchronistically, when God's working, something bigger's going on, Talcott. You come into this room, and what's on the wall? The same thing that's on Talcott's wall. Because
So
we
real quick,
didn't
just to
have
get
to
back-
merge. We were already merged. We're one self.
So just to get back to where we started, we should build more. Do less tearing down. Just people in general, in the world, in
I
general.
just want to know, again, I'm trying to help the miscreants. The Christed being walking in the way of the Tao went to the places no one would go. Notice flow state is angry, miserable, alone.
I'm not even focused on that.
No.
just
He needs our help. Right? Like Smith Preacher, when he was in that state, we did the same thing with him, and he's been better ever since.
He's
Yeah,
talking
what-
about going to look at the Dreams collection at Target. I think is how he has it spelled there. It must be the fancier way of saying it.
I don't know what that means.
Target. It was from a stand-up from somebody, anyways. I'm saying he's moving on to something else. You know, you're talking about building and finding
Oh, okay,
solutions.
you're right. Yeah, let's
So
move on, Jack.
let's do
I
that.
care about these people, and I want to help them. And you're right; they won't accept the help anyway. I'm making it about me. Go ahead.
It's Paul, this is the challenge, is that every one of us can use some help, whether we admit it, whether we recognize it or not, but getting the help to be seen. This is what I'm dealing with my own mother, like I've been saying. You know, I want to help her. My heart breaks that I don't know. Life is peculiar. We've got to learn how to get along with each other better, honestly.
Praise God.
And I honestly, nobody cares about my opinion. I don't think Provo's a hating type person. I'm just throwing it out there. I think he'll get in your chat. He'll get shit from other people there. And then he's only human. He's a man, so he's going to say stuff back. He's not coming in there spewing toxic shit. So Provo's, I don't know.
Hater and everybody.
If people could build community, shit would start to happen. But it comes through an understanding and, building these connections between people. That's it.
Yes, finding time and following through with opportunities to connect, Smith.
Yeah, I'm just
Man,
living
there
online
you-
right now. I'm battling addiction. I'm getting out of drinking, so I don't have time for that right now, Jack. I
Well,
appreciate
then you
being
could benefit from fellowshipping with Talcott and letting him rub the back of your knees. What is your problem? You're very unloving.
Right. Hey, actually, Smith, all the more reason, seriously, because I've had my success. I know that I can help you find strength. And hey, while I still have fiat currency, let me buy you a meal.
Yeah, I mean, he could at least help you find some good Vicodin. I suspect. Talcott gets that look after about 5 p.m. Like he's popped a couple Narcos. So there might be some extras in it for you. He can't say that on the air. I guess I can't either, but I just did.
Right.
Forget about all that. We'll edit that out.
Hey, so it is Friday night, the social evening. I was debating, do I go explore the animal kingdom, the social nightlife that might emerge?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Talcott.
I like going, but it's humans are fucking fascinating. But no matter what I try, dude, it's like they evade. I go places and I'm all alone, and it's like, what the fuck is
Let
going
me
on?
help you out, Jack.
Talcott's like a leper. They just
You got a
avoid
problem.
him. He's an
go-
untouchable.
You go for the
You're trying to
experience.
find a woman, huh? Is there? Go to the goddamn
Okay.
library or something. If you want to find
No,
a
I've
couple-
tried that,
couple.
man. It's mostly homeless
Go to
people these
go to
days.
go to the bookstore where they have to pay for something.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to do that, go to the mall and go to the library and go to the store just to make myself available to the world and see what could happen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crack up laughing. I go to the mall to make myself
If you just
available.
want,
to
if you
the
want
world.
pussy, if you just want,
How
pussy,
did that
you
work
can't go to the
out?
bar.
As if I didn't know. Completely ignored, huh?
It
Yeah.
brought me to here.
Right. Fill in the blank, huh?
Well, dude, this life we are living, serious. It can tear us up and break us down, but it can
Jack,
also
I'm just here to
be.
get a Cinnabon. Could you go that way with the N-Wars and Legal Secrets thing?
I kind of miss Cinnabon. I gave that up with the chemicals and dairy.
Yeah, put some more of that white shit on there. Go ahead. I'm already pre-diabetic. Why not? Load it up. You only live once.
Oh man. Actually, that's something I saw in the news actually, but a lot of these malls and stuff, the commercial real estate, so they say, is about to crumble. And then that'll affect the banks, make them less solvent. And then everyone be running to the banks and saying, "What's going on?" And everyone be afraid. And
Now, Smith, just to be clear, there is a Cinnabon in Spokane, and maybe if you fucking took the time to reach out to Jack Talcott, there might be Cinnabon or two in it for you. You never know.
we even got one of those oh crap, Krispy Kremes.
Oh yeah.
You guys seriously eat that fucking garbage, bro?
No, I gave it up. I did eat it. I used to fucking love that stuff. But then I started realizing, well, you know what? I did the shadow work, recognized my greater capacity of evil that I'd been denying was there. And then I realized that there's a lot of evil motherfuckers out there, and they are actually kind of successful in running these corporations that put chemicals and shit in our food to keep us stupid. So I didn't need all the profanities, I guess, but I'm scared. Ran Provo away. But
I
these
just got in touch with my internal rapist. Very concerning, Smith creature. You want to talk about it over a Cinnabon? No, Jack, that's okay. I'm going to go back to drinking my life.
It's safer for me to drink
Thanks
again.
for the offer.
No, I don't know. Quitting things is actually not as hard as it seems. It's just like starting things. Starting things seems hard. Quitting things seems hard. But it's only as hard as we want to allow our mind to think. Because that self-discipline, Paul knows that.
If Smith Creature came there, would you share a hot dog with him? Like in the same way that, remember Lady and the Tramp? They kind of put like, would you?
I knew you were going to say that shit,
Would you? Like if I held up a hot dog, would you both share it by biting each end? On live? That's good content.
A little smooch at the end. There you go.
I'm confident that Smith would probably not allow that, but if it was a plant-based one, I might.
No, if I give him an hour on my broadcast to break down numbers, he'll do pretty much whatever I ask. I'm confident in that.
Actually, you know,
I don't know, bro. All you got to do is bite the hot dog in order to get an hour of number breakdown on the best broadcast ever. Your hero, Paul Unslave. What are you going to do?
holy cows, man. People get these opportunities. What do they do? What do we do with the opportunities we have?
And,
And
yeah,
then
if Smith is listening, keep it up, bro. You got this. Yeah, sorry, Jack. Continue.
yeah, no, actually, yes, in all seriousness, Smith, you know, if you started that path of cleansing your body out, congratulations, and I encourage you. Stay mindful of how much better you probably feel.
I want to be clear. It's also going to be a vegan hot dog, right? So if you're like, you got any kind of moral compunction with the idea of like not, killing or doing harm, this is going to be, there's no animals going to be harmed in the making of this bit.
Thank you.
What about artificial meat grown in a giant vat? What about that? Is that good enough? Or
That's acceptable. I'll allow that.
No. I'll do well. We'll find something. But yeah, it's got to be no cruelty to animals.
That's the same stuff they made Caitlyn Jenner's vagina out of, right? when he turned into a she, they used that lab-grown meat, I think.
Yeah, they grow it in a fucking giant vat, like through cancer, kind of. And yeah, they made a nice little fucking vagina for him.
Hey, have I ever brought this up to you, Jack? You know what occurred to me yesterday? Maybe I was smoking a little too much, but I sat there, I was thinking, I go, isn't it a travesty or just a cause of confusion that it's illegal to fuck an animal but not Kim Kardashian or even one of the Kardashian sisters? It's like, where have we gone wrong in the pursuit of justice?
A fucking lot of places, man. Holy cows. Hey, and this is something, science has evolved this to where friggin' vaginas can be grown in a petri dish now. And if science is this advanced, what the hell is going on with our society?
Right.
How can we be so advanced and so retarded collectively at the same time?
Well, that's the thing. We aren't advanced. These are all Indians and Asians doing all this, and they're not really human. Like who the fuck came up with the Apple iPhone? Some Asian, some Indian person. I didn't know any white people growing up who could have done any of this. Right?
No.
So they got to be non-human. All right. And I look over there at these people and I go, this is the closest thing we got. These folks are aliens. They were onto something, and they're creating all this kind of technology that's ungodly. It's inhuman.
But why is it called Apple? Think about it, like the tree of life, the apple. It's called Apple for a reason. The other big brand's called Android. That's what they're trying to turn people into. Then they got the Apple. They named them very purposely. Kind of funny.
The devil is obviously using Indians and Asians and big tech. I'm onto it.
Who are employed by the white man.
And you want to know, if you guys search up, there's a place called Bangalore, Bangalore. And it's like a place in India. It's like the tech capital of the world. They have pyramids and shit over there. It's a fucking weird place. Look into it.
There are some crazy, cities that these wealthy people and different people have engineered. This world is far more than what we've learned. It's crap. You were saying something that I wanted to touch on. I'm sorry.
The devil's using Asians and Indians.
He's been using us all, man.
Comment on that. No. Us white folks can barely even use this damn technology, let alone invent it. Some Asian 12-year-old invented this phone you're using right now. Are you buying that?
Right.
Are you buying that?
And some white asshat in America is the one who profited and stole the ideas from him. And seriously, when I've been spending more time like this trying to figure out, okay, say the end of civilization happens, right? The power grid goes out and we are back to a primitive setting. What do you know how to make?
Forget about that. Someone's bringing up a good game down in chat. When we do the Towel House, we're going to hang around and eat snacks like popcorn. And there's going to be a point in the night where some lucky contestant gets to bob for the popcorn that fell down between Talcott's legs in his groin area. you get to that's a test of will and skill, right? Depending on how many pieces of popcorn you can get out, you win a prize.
Depending how hot the day was, that could be unpleasant.
Yeah, which is a variation of like, we're gonna put spare chains in Jack Talcott's pants pockets, and whatever you can reach in and collect, you can keep. And you just got to kind of watch out for any hazards. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do, it's a challenge. And Jack gets some human contact, right? Everyone wins. He wants contact. He wants connection. He wants physicality and social routine. So what better way to give everybody what they want and need?
Dude, yeah. That's what the world's about. Giving each other what we need. What would make things better? Because imagine if
got a roll of quarters down there. You happy to see me, huh?
It's a roll of fucking dimes.
We can move beyond the money. We don't need it. Oh, technology, dude. We've got so many opportunities right now to completely redesign, restructure, redo so much. This is an amazing time for us to live. But what if one of these solar storms does come in, we get, an electromagnetic pulse knocks our power grids out. We literally would be back to Stone Age, without the electricity to run the water and pumps for the sewage and everything.
I got that covered. I got solar and generators and other stuff. You're fucked. I'm like doing great. I'm doing a broadcast. It's apocalypse season. I'm like, hey, welcome to the apocalypse. Broadcast 999.
Yes, I got those things too. Even invested in one of those EMP shields to help in the case of whatever. But the thing is the actual bigger picture of how we exist, dude. If society crumbles and like Depression era poverty really sets in again, this we can do better. I know we can do better. And I think if we start doing better now, then if the worst does happen, that we'll be better prepared for it. And I do think this is the time. I do believe this, brothers and sisters. All of the past happened so that we could be created. And then in our lifetimes, we all learned what we could learn. And somehow, man, Paul enslaved. He brought us together. But it wasn't really him. It was the energies that move us.
Jack, I got great news. My promotion just started. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Just approved. My marketing and promotions have gone through. I'm already up 100 views.
Fabulous, dude. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we're on a path to complete success and global domination. Metaversely.
Metaversely, of course. Congrats. I don't need, because I don't know where my path's going to continue on here, but I was looking, my subscriber count, it is slowly growing, but kind of a stagnation point, I noticed.
Right.
Then I got to wondering, well, what do I do? What do I do different? Because yes, Paul, I know results are indicators of past performance, but it's information.
Not an indicator of future results.
Amen. Exactly. And that's what I came to realize, is that as long as I pay attention to opportunities, watch for opportunities with the belief that, there's a way. I've got the goal, And I know there is a path, and this path can be long, and it can take a lot of steps and involves a lot of different changes and development. Or I know that things happen and people can be catapulted towards success and failure.
Right. But Jack, we also have to remember that we don't want to look for the catapult. If the catapult comes, great. If it doesn't, we got to come up with a process and a procedure that works for us and everyone else that we can stick to. So I think that's where you kind of figure out, perfect that. What are you getting out of it that you can stick to, that you really care about, that brings value to you and others? And keep it short if you have to, you know. But I don't necessarily think you really have to do anything different. Again, forgive me if I'm projecting egoically, but I'm in a different kind of position. I've been doing this for a bit now. I had a whole bunch of growth in the beginning. It seems like they interfered with that. I had to move over. So, you know, I kind of am looking at it a different way. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I see the results. Now I have to expound upon that, is what I think.
That's
I
the
have
key.
to kind of like broaden the horizon, so to speak.
That's the key, brother.
You guys should try using Instagram to funnel new people in here. It's a very good method.
I know you mentioned that and you explained that before. If that actually might be where, dude.
Well, if you look at, you have me on Instagram, right? Look, I'm almost at
Paul.
10,000, and it's a pretty new channel. I'm almost at 10K already, and it's all targeted people in Canada that are in like my niche that smoke cannabis. So it's very targeted. With something like this, anyone can go listen and join, so it'd be a lot easier to grow on there, you know, with your niche or whatever. So.
There's lots of ways to grow, but I truly believe kind of what Paul's saying: consistency and value. And as improve on consistency, improve on value, then it should reveal the way. And I'm not just focused on YouTube though either. I'm focused.
I mean, you got to kind of know your audience too and what they're looking for. I mean, like if you move into the whole Talcottian experience, you know, our life is a joke on some level, but we're going to take it somewhat serious in some ways for growth and learning. You go get a camera, you know, you go do what Mystery does. You walk around and talk to women. Like you said, you're going to want to go to the bar anyway, so it gives you an excuse. Hey, I'm going to go do some content. I really don't give a fuck how it turns out, because just me being there at the bar is going to be the thing, right? We're all going to kind of, you know, get enjoyment and excitement from that. It'll be fun, and wherever it goes, it goes. So yeah, I mean, if you come at it from that way, right? This is Jack Talcott and how I'm perceived by some people. If I know who and what I am, well, I can move into it, you know, and then that'll be a practice for you. How much do you know who and what you are, and can move into certain things and just be free with it and say it's going to be good content or not? It's got to be. I mean, if Jack's in it, like, again, I had an equation I come up with. Anything plus Jack Talcott immediately gets better. Do you see how that equation works? There's really no way around that. So just work with that equation.
Oh man. These ideas, my mind started drifting. Today's Friday, right? So Friday night, this afternoon, there's a couple of nice farmers markets. And then shortly after that is the cutoff where you're no longer required to pay for parking. That's usually when I go downtown, when there's no more harassment.
Yeah, I mean, what if you did like joints with Jack, right? Where you go from one place to the other, eating the food like these fat slaves do. And then you get to show people, hey, I'm at this place right here. It's pretty well known. I'm getting this appetizer or whatever. We're going to try it out. And then in the middle of the food coming, you just kind of give a rap about ending wars and legal secrets. You know, then the food comes, usually like you choke to death. This is going to be the big one, Talcott. It's all over. I'm going to choke to death on a lot. So you eat the food, right? You choke to death. You give them a rap about wars and legal secrets. You know, and then it becomes something, right? Then you become known for the travel food guy. And now you're in the room with Angelina. You're talking about ending wars and legal secrets and helping Black children, the whole nine.
I like that idea. I'm going to give this some thought. Thank you. But, well, there are some buts in there. I'll have to work through some of those. Make sure I'm not making excuses.
Call it Adventures with Jack.
Adventure. You know what? There's something to be said there. And I was picturing there's a couple businesses where I do truly enjoy. I'd gladly actually promote their business, and it would be a change. It would be a different atmosphere and something different. Who knows? I don't know, brothers and sisters. What? Go ahead, Paul.
No, I'm just saying, you know what? I'm so good at giving other people ideas that I have to take my own. So I'm now going to do another thing that I'm not going to do, which is start my own channel. Every day I have another channel I have to start. Right? And it's me going around eating all the vegan options and talking about ending wars and legal secrets. You were too slow, Jack. Just like you stole my brand and copyrighted it. I stole back the idea I gave to you, and now I'm doing it in your series. So could you please subscribe to that, promote it, like, share the whole thing? Thanks.
Absolutely. I would. Hey, I'm feeling complete. I feel like wrapping up. I want to thank you guys. Sincerely.
Yeah, I just came to completion too. We might as well wrap it up and wipe up and carry on with our day.
That's what I was thinking. Well, the thoughts I've received inspirations, and for those who tuned in and joined, I hope you guys did too. Some inspirations, encouragement, some value, right? Because that's why we're here, to bring value to the world in our own unique ways, and we're here to improve the value, improve the ways, and improve the depth, the growth and influence. Paul, Cage.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Everyone have a great weekend. I'm just driving right now, so I've been muted most of the time. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Everyone have a great weekend.
All right, respect.
All right,
Peace,
thank you,
Dave.
Jack. I'm out of here. We'll see you later.
Respect. Thank you, brother. Have a beautiful night. And brothers and sisters, seriously, this is our life. Tonight, it's your Friday evening, Friday afternoon, or maybe you're tuning in at another time. Today is our day, our life to live. We can seize the day, focus on the future. Better memories are coming. If you can remember that, this is something I told myself a lot in the dark days of confusion. Better memories are available. They're ready to be made, ready to be created, ready to be brought forth through the new experiences that can be imagined. Because imagination is the first step. You got to imagine it, but you got to believe it. And there's no point in having a belief or an imagination if you're not going to find a path and pursue it. Because sitting around just dreaming of things, yeah, it's fun, it's entertaining, but life just spent dreaming, man. You're missing out on the doing and the being. So, brothers and sisters, thank you once again for tuning in. Please do the subscribe notification. I may or may not be back on the weekend. We'll see. We'll see what the future brings. God bless to everyone. Live without fear.